I'm Nicole, and this is Leanne, and this is Dee Dee's Floss Tube, episode 102. So let's get started. Good morning or good evening, everybody, no matter where you're watching from. Thank you very much for clicking on this video and checking what it's all about. We are here for Floss Tube. And Leanne is here today from Stitchy Moon Crafts, yes?
Yes, we have changed our name.
All right, so we, as you can see, are at the Bunya Mountains. It is a bit overcast and windy outside today, so that's why we're filming inside. But we'll just turn and you can see our view. And that's the view that we have from where we've been stitching all weekend. So, but we want to show you what we've worked on this weekend. So Leanne's joining me today because we're in the same room. Normally we're not. Normally we're on Zoom. We're just little heads in a box. But anyway, if you are new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon beside it. And then that way you're not going to miss out on any future crafty uploads. And as always, while you're there, give this a thumbs up. On that. So we're going to start with Leanne and what she's worked on over the weekend.
So I only bought 4 projects.
Yep.
Ones that I really wanted to get a good crack in. So I did Lisa Parker's, it's my HAED, so it's Lisa Parker's Witching Hour. And I managed to get, over the course of the weekend, 1,000 stitches. So I worked on this section here and, well, actually right across the top here. So filling in all the black so I can just do the black while I chat. It's easy to do while you're
block colour's awesome when you're chatting. Less mistakes. And we all know Nicole can't count.
And yes, I'm of the same vein.
Yeah, lots of counting mistakes, hey?
So I'm really happy with that because I'd set the project for myself. At the end of the year I'd have done that whole band. So I'm on track, I think, to get that done.
It's coming along. Like I remember when I first started watching you and how far you've actually come with it.
Yes. I think I got a bit overwhelmed when I realised just how big
it was, yeah. I got a little bit that way with Autumn Queen because that was the first HAED I'd ever brought, and of course it was Max Colours, and then I'm like, but anyway.
Yeah, and we'll see with that one, when I got it, I couldn't read. I thought it was going to be 40 centimetres, not 400 millimetres or whatever it was.
Yeah, we've all been there.
But I also got a little bit on the Friday morning. I didn't actually work on it up here, but I did get a little bit of work on my Nemesis from the Dimensions in Harmony. I managed to get a little bit of the wolf done. Not a lot, but enough to make me say I'm starting it again. Yeah, that's better. Yeah. So
it's coming along though.
Yeah. Yes.
So for those that haven't watched Leanne before, this is her Nemesis piece because you got a working copy photographed, photocopied, and it was wrong. Is that correct?
I missed 6 rows.
Okay, and so you can see here there's you can see that it's been frogged out. There was a wolf there that looked a little bit special. Let's just go with special. and so she had to frog that out. And so it's frogged out and now you're continuing it on. And this is your son's piece, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. So he was meant to get this a few years ago, actually. I think it was 2020 or 21.
Yeah, something. I think it was 2020 because I met you in 2020.
Yeah.
So, or 2019, the end of, something like that, yeah. So, yeah. But you didn't stipulate what Christmas.
No, that's right. I didn't. And, I've decided I was going to chuck it, but I've come too far.
Yeah.
So now the frogging's done, which is what was holding me back.
It's going to look beautiful. Like just looking at it on the camera, like you can see there, that's going to look really nice once it's mounted and everything. The moon is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I love this. And it's really only the frogging part of it that I got disheartened. I'd put so many stitches in. I need to have to frog them out again.
Because you were down to about here, weren't you?
Yeah. I'd pretty much done the whole third wolf.
Yeah, so he was down to about there. You can just make it out. I did
think it was a bit short.
It's beautiful.
because he was missing, you know.
I kept looking at it and going, and then you said, oh, no. And then I'm like, oh, that's so I was seeing something. I wasn't 100% sure because, like, he was only partly done. I wasn't fully sure that was what was going on. And then when you said it, I'm like, oh, okay.
And the further I got on, the more I realised he wasn't looking right.
He wasn't right.
Because he was missing half his face. So I have been, this was my September sampler piece I'd pulled out, but I just loved it so much I just kept going into Spooktober.
What's it called? Midnight Wash by Blackbird Designs. That's what it's going to look like when it's finished.
And so this is where we are now. So,
this is coming along really nicely too.
I'm really, really happy. I didn't have the Call for colours in the moon, so I did
just go a bit closer.
As matched as much as I can.
Yeah.
So I think I
do
was
that.
A number either way.
Yeah,
so,
I do the same thing. Like if I don't have that number, I'll just Google and see what's close to it.
Yeah.
But it looks really good. Like from on the camera, it's not picking up, but as you get closer, you can see it really clearly. And in person, it's perfect. It is perfect. I mean, the moon when we got up here that first night was that colour. So, but yeah, no, it's come along really nicely. I love the border.
Yeah, yeah. So this time I learnt with the next piece I'll show, I've learnt not to finish the borders before I do inside.
So this isn't that big. Like you've done a fair bit. So you're about you've done so you're all here, all of that. So that you don't have that much to go. Like once you get to the alphabet, it's going to be pretty quick.
And I think I'm just going to keep this one in because I really enjoy doing it, and I've got a few plans for next year. So I want to try and get a few out as many out as I can. And this was another piece that I started in 2020 for Spooktober.
Yep. So I do, for those that don't know or haven't been around before, in October I do DD Spooktober and we stitch all things Halloween. But if you don't stitch Halloween, you can stitch something with a cat or a witch's hat or anything that you can relate to sort of Halloween or spooky, you know. Not everyone stitches Halloween, so yeah. So this is another Blackbird design. You'll see a theme. Leanne likes Blackbird design. And it's called Away We Ride. So that's what it's going to look like. I love this piece. I do. Yeah.
I've really enjoyed doing this. So with this one, and the reason I was saying about borders is I realised when I got over to this side that I had actually, I think I'm 1 or 2 stitches out down here, which meant that the inside border hasn't been done.
So there is, you can just see here, there's a little squiggly border that's supposed to go inside. But do you know what? I don't think it needs it.
No. So I thought I'll leave that inside border and wait until I've finished.
Like how gorgeous are those colours in that? Yeah. They're absolutely stunning. I love it. And it's not a big piece. Like when you started doing this, I actually thought it was like a lot larger. Like that picture there is quite deceptive. Like it makes you feel like it's going to be huge. And then you've done.
Yeah.
And it's not that big. Like.
And it doesn't, and because the fabric I bought in 2020, I had to go to Melbourne. So I was Melbourne was in lockdown. And so I had a massive buy up on Sew It All Australia. So I'll be stitching on 28 count for a few years.
Yeah.
And same with the previous piece. It's on a massive piece.
It's a running joke. So Leanne and I stitch together with Gail, Michelle and Jenny T on a Friday night. We have a private get together and it's just a way to connect each week and talk about our stitching and everything, but it is a running joke. We give Leanne heaps about it.
I'm not sure whether I suspect I just couldn't count or I just panicked because, you know, the world was going crazy.
And we didn't know, and that's all you've worked on this week?
Yes. Yeah. So
well, we didn't know what was going to happen, like how much time we were going to be in lockdown. And Melbourne at that stage had already been in 3 lockdowns or something. And in Queensland, we'd only had 1 at that stage. So when you went, because you went down in the August. Wasn't it? Or the September?
September. Yep. So I only went down for 2 weeks and it took me 3 months to come back.
Yeah, she wouldn't let her come home. They banished her to Victoria.
Then I had my hotel quarantine.
The murder room.
The murder room.
Yeah, that was interesting. Yes, the murder room. I have to pictures, and I have to share that in one of my videos.
Definitely.
Because whoever took care of that decor had some issues, had some serious issues. All right, so I worked on about the same, about 4. When I come away to retreats, I tend to not get much stitching done. I get more stitching done at home. But I sit there and chit chat and as you know, and I don't tend to do because I don't count well. So, and we've established that on my live streams or while I'm doing Stitch with Me, is if I'm counting, I'm making a mistake.
Yeah.
So I'll start with what I normally start with. I have worked on, this was what I worked on yesterday, which is the Snow Village. I'm doing it in one piece. So my piece, although this is not the best picture, my piece will have all of that in one thing. And this is the one that I am working on at the moment, which is the Skate and Sled Shop. And I got a fair bit done yesterday, actually. So that is where I'm at the moment. You can see there, that's the little sled. Someone asked me where I got this little girl from. I got it from Etsy. I don't know what store, though. I'll have to look it up. Sorry. And that's the fabric in a hole, so you can see it's sort of coming together. And I'll end up doing some more on that this week and filming it and putting it up as a Stitch with Me next Monday. So I'm not going to do one this week.
It's gorgeous fabric.
It is. It's coming along really nicely. And then I worked on another piece. This is by My Fanny, and I don't have my cover picture here, and I've packed away my chart. So in another bag. But it's the Little Santa collections. So you can see there, I'll just bring it a little bit closer. I would have finished this weekend, except I brought the wrong floss up. I ended up bringing up my DMC instead of my CXC, and I couldn't have been bothered driving back down home to get it. So I just worked with what I had and what I can do. So all I've got to do now is finish this off, the snowman, and then there's a couple of snowflakes here, and then I'll be starting on the next one. So I can smell a finish on that one. So I'll probably actually get that done in the next week or so, because it's not a lot of stitching to do in it. Like it goes together pretty quick. And again, I'm doing this in one piece. This is on 32 count, and it is called Grey Skies. No, Evening Skies. This one. I have a whole sky series, so yeah.
I was going to say, is that one of your fabrics?
Yeah. The next one that I actually I worked on 5. There you go. The next one I worked on was Wicked by Barbara Anna Designs. Last time you seen this, I had done up until the broom there of the key, and I've got to the end of the cats. Okay. Luckily, I actually had the floss in their pouch for this one, because what I do is I keep all my flosses in my containers. Yeah. And then I just pull the container out, and as I'm working, I will just pull the floss out that I need and then put it all back, and then it's all in one place. Because I found when I first started cross-stitching, I was getting floss and putting it in all my project bags, and then I was doubling and tripling up on floss, and I just don't want to have that much floss. Yeah. You know, and especially when I've got, like, normally I have my stand behind me and I've got Cosmo as well. That's a lot of floss hanging around the house that doesn't necessarily need to be there. Yeah. But, yeah, so we got the little spider in. I got the key in, then realised that I put an extra row in the key, so took that out, then redone it again. And I've got half the legs done on the spider. And then I called it a day on that one. She's so cute. She is. She doesn't have much to go. And then I realised that it's 1976, the year that my husband was born. So, and as I said last week, I think he's a wicked witch. But anyway, it's a bit of a girl. So I've only got really these little elements to do and the back end of the key, which is huge. Like, I didn't realise when I'd done it. Like, when I've seen it, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's only small. It's only a little cushion. It's deceiving. That's a big cushion. Like, it's a big cushion, because I thought like dough bowl size, when you consider that I still have all this fabric to go and the key's got to go in here. That's pretty big. It's going to be a pretty big piece. But again, that's on 32 count. Antique white linen from Sew It All Australia. I don't have my whip book here. I normally have my whip book in front of me. That's why I can just rattle them off. And then with my HAEDs, I've sort of just written it on the back. Yep. So when I hold the picture up, so what it is. So the next one I worked on is my focus piece, which is Red Dragon. Still not very exciting. Still working with 939. But I got just over 500 stitches in this one. Let me just put this behind it. There we go. There we go. So I had this all done. So I was working up here, and I come in from about there and worked my way down, which is it's still a lot. Like when I was working on it, it was just Saturday night I put an hour into it, and then yesterday I put about an hour into it as well, maybe a bit longer. But yeah, so it's moving along. I'm almost at the halfway mark. I think that line just there, according to Pattern Keeper, is the halfway across. So, which is so exciting when you get to that. Yeah, like that'll be 2.5 pages, I think. If from memory, it's about 2.5 pages and left to go, and then we'll be into a different colour. Then it'll just be like a sand colour. So we go from one extreme to the next. So I'm about here. So I've still got a little bit of the tree to go, but more greens coming in now, because we're getting to the lighter part of like the sun. Like if it's like the sun's rising or something. Yeah. So that's about the halfway mark, and then it's all that, and then we'll be into the real vibrant colours down the bottom. Yeah. Which is good. So I'll be glad when I get to the dragon, because then I know I'm on the downhill run. Okay, the next one is an Autumn Lane Stitchery one that I did. That's not good. And it's called Pick Your Poison. This one was almost a finish. It would have been finished had I brought the right threads, because there was no thread. Not a single thread was in the project bag. So I did swap out the colours again. I have no idea what colours I used, but I pulled out 2 greens. That's what sort of colour they were, and I filled in the white because I had the white here. So all I have to do now is poison, and so all I've got to do is finish this word off, and I've backstitched everything except for the pentagram, and then I'm up to the backstitching, the spider and the backstitching, and that's it. It'll be done.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, like I said last week, I think I'm going to frame this one. I was going to turn it into a little cushion, but I think I'm going to go with the frame. I like the frame. But that's all I worked on this week. Not much. Oh, actually, I had a new start last week. I haven't done a floss tube since then. So I have joined Chrissy from Chrissy Stitches and Deb from Frog Cottage Designs, and I'm doing a Blackbird Designs Humming of the Bees. And you would have seen this on my Stitch With Me, and I've had the start. And where's the camera? There we go. I don't even know where my own camera is sitting on this side because I'm sitting in the middle normally. And that's where I'm at. So I'm going to work a bit on that today. Get some more into that because we're packed up, ready to go. And basically what we'll do is we're going to go down to the cafe for a couple of hours because neither one of us have to be back at work. So we're just going to stay up here and then go home a little bit later and stitch at the cafe, make ourselves at home. And anybody that's been to one of my retreats, you know what I'm talking about. It's down in the sewing room that we're going to, and we're just going to sit there, make ourselves at home and all the rest of it. All right, so what are your plans going forward?
So continuing with the Way We Ride and Midnight Stitch and my witching hour.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
So they're the ones that my three main. I'll still work on the In Harmony wolves in the background, but
cool. Awesome. It's going to look awesome. All right. So some of my subscribers probably want to know a little bit about you. So how long have you been stitching for?
Oh, serious stitching probably only the last couple of years, probably. But I did stitch when I was younger, but serious this sort of stitching now, probably in the last maybe 5 or 10 years.
Cool.
Yeah.
So a fair while, and you've always crafted and everything, haven't you?
Yes. Yeah.
Now she's getting heavily into quilting thanks to all of us.
Yes.
It's along.
Definitely. I'm loving the quilting side of it. And yeah, I think, and this is good because it's easy. I can pack it up. I can just take it.
Yep.
And I love the retreats that come with it.
Yeah.
That's always.
Yes, it's nice to get away. Like, I mean, you really, come on, you can't complain about that view. That's a pretty awesome view. That we've got other footage that will get slipped in and all the rest of it. So, how often do you upload for your channel?
So this year I've been a little sporadic. I used to do it I think I was doing it every 2 weeks, and then I went to Melbourne. So that was back in 2020. So that was when I really decided to be a bit more regular.
Yep.
And now with work in the last 12 months, it was sort of as I could do it, but I'm trying to do it monthly. This month there's probably actually going to be 2 because I did a Spooktober wrap up.
Yep. And do you normally post roughly around the middle of the month, don't you? Yeah. So you sort of bring 2 weeks of 1 month and the first 2 weeks. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I find that way I can sort of cover both months that way.
Yep. And your channel's just had a name change. So originally you were Morgana Stitchy Moon 75, and now you're Stitchy Moon Crafts, no 75 anymore.
Yes.
It's still Moon and no Morgana.
Yes.
But on Instagram you are still Morgana?
Morgana Stitchy Moon 75 on Instagram. I wasn't able to change that, so I've just left it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I will leave all the links down below where you can go and check that out, and go and suss out what she gets up to all the time and whatnot. So yeah, but I don't have any plans at this stage except to spin. I will get back to normal spinning and all that sort of stuff at the end of this week because, as you know, I've had car breakdowns and been to 2 retreats in the last, 2 weeks? Yeah, because I only had a weekend between. So, yeah, so it's been flat out, and I've got the magazine to get out this week. So, yeah, I won't be doing much of anything. Once I get home, I'll be just stitching and whatnot. So is there anything else that you would like anybody to know, what they can expect from your channel or anything like that? What else do you share over there?
It's mainly I've started doing the quilting now. So as I finish a quilt, I'll sort of put up, show a quilt, and not that they're very often, but when they are. So, and of course you do all the finishing part of it for me. So
I'm the binder and the quilter.
which makes them look magnificent.
Thank you. I'm glad. We've got to, I'll insert some photos of her quilts that I've just finished that I brought up to the retreat. So, yeah, you'll get to see them because I haven't shown them anywhere yet.
Yeah.
That I just didn't have time to fluff around with cameras and all the rest of it. It's just like get them done and whatnot. All right. Well, I am going to call it a day for today. I know that some of you are going, well, who won the mystery box or the gift voucher? I forgot to do that before I left. Completely forgot, and I think I remembered yesterday. I went, oh, bugger. And so I don't have really good internet up here to get onto YouTube and do all the things. So basically I just thought I will do it next week. So it has been closed off. There is no more entries for it, and I will collate all the names and put it all on a wheel, spin it. We'll find out who the winner is. Now, for those that have commented and aren't sure what is going on, the flag tells me where you are. If you are into overseas, then you will get a gift voucher to 123 Stitch. If you're in the UK and don't shop with 123 Stitch, we'll talk and work out where you like to shop. And as long as they have gift vouchers, gift vouchers will be right. And if you're in Australia, you actually have a mystery box. So, and obviously it's a mystery, so you don't know what's in it. But it is Stitchy related. That's what I will say. But that is it from me today. That's it from Leanne, and we are going to go off and do some stitching. Have a fabulous day, everybody. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon beside it, and then that way you will not miss out on any future posts. And as always, leave me a comment down below, and this time leave me a parrot, because we have a king parrot just out here talking to us. So leave us a parrot in the comments below. That way I know you've made it this far, and I will see you all again next time. Bye for now.